MachMotion is here today. They are one of our newer SMA members, and they're going to be sharing a little bit about their process and how they help stair builders like yourselves modernize their existing CNC machines with cost-effective control upgrades that don't require an equipment replacement. John and also Shannon are here joining us with Mock Motion. So, guys, thank you so much for your time and for sharing your wisdom with us. And we look forward to hearing from you.
Well, thank you for having us here today. If I could share my screen, um,
Great.
a little bit about Mock Motion. We've been doing retrofits for roughly 25 years. We're kind of like the best unknown secret in the industry that we have a solution that supports the existing assets within your business without having to replace the whole machine. Um, we do Our only business is CNC control upgrades. We don't build machinery, we don't do anything else, but we do retrofit all types of CNC equipment, not only routers, but we do water jets, we do boring mills, we do lathes, we do grinders. But we've been very much involved with the wood industry over the past couple of years. It's an industry that we've been very successful with, and there's a lot of people that use our equipment that have made uh, retrofit decision rather than replace an existing machine. That also goes to used equipment as well. There's a lot of used equipment on the market, and it isn't a cost-effective alternative to new equipment, but usually the controls are the weak link in buying a used piece of equipment. MachMotion is a US-based company. It's headquartered in Missouri. It's a family-owned business. It started out in Pennsylvania. The family moved to Missouri, built a homestead there. There's basically the father started the business, and you've got four brothers that followed up in handling the business forward. It's a family-run organization. It's a family. That's the way we treat our customers as well. And all of the support, everything is done directly with the factory. So you're always factory direct. I think that's a really important piece of our business. We kind of define machines as bones and brains. Uh, I've been in the machinery business for my entire career. And one of the things I've always come up with is the weight of your machine is directly proportionate to the quality of the machine. The older machines, the bones are better built, better steel. So if it weighs more, it's usually a better built machine. The lifespan of the bones is 30 plus years. I've retrofitted machines for the US government for making ammunition that were built prior to World War II, and those same machines are running day in and day out. So the bones are good. It's the brains, the newer machines that have CNC controls on it, that you have a limited lifetime. As many know, Windows XP or Windows 7, all of those older window formats are basically falling by the wayside, and they're becoming a problem. So we look at 7 to 10 years roughly for your brains to start to fail. And we give an alternative to replacing everything by just replacing the brains. One of our success stories has been Heartland Stairways. They actually have two Onsred machines. We have replaced controls on one machine and are working on another one. This is a 3-axis Onsred machine in which we took the older controls off and put the new controls on. One of the biggest things we have is the ease of use, the ease of training personnel and going from an older control to our control. We have one customer that an older gentleman like myself who basically held us up for about 3 years because he didn't want to learn anything new. And we finally retrofitted their machine, and he just was tickled pink. He said, I wasted 3 years of my life battling a control system that now, and he always goes, 1, 2, 4 buttons and I'm running product, 4 buttons, I'm running product. So again, the ease of use, the ease of training, the support that we give our customers is basically second to none. At any time, does anybody have any questions they can pop in and ask me as well? how we support the stair manufacturers and basically all in the wood industry. One is we keep your trusted equipment in service. You've got equipment that you're familiar with mechanically. You may have already spent money for supported spares. The mechanical components can be replaced. It's the controls where you need the support from basically either a local or a domestic support. And that would be one of our solutions. We reduce downtime, we increase reliability. We actually also increase productivity. And that doesn't always necessarily mean it runs faster. It just means the overall process is able to be improved from a productivity standpoint. And as I've said, easy to learn, easy to use. That's one of our key points in our product. The other is that if you have an existing stash of files that you've got and you don't want to restart over, we help you keep your files. So if you've got any types of posts from other systems, we have a G code adapter that we basically convert G code from other formats. We work with all the major software manufacturers to make sure that our control system can that we can support the files that you currently have. Our system also has the ability to store multiple tools up to 100 plus. We also have the ability to store fixtures. We have different workflows. And the other thing is that you're not buying a black box. It's a control system that has a lot of adaptability to it. It also has the ability that in the future we can meet the needs as your needs change. We have customers that, hey, you guys did a job for us a year ago, and a new job came up for us. If we only had another drill bank, or if we could add another 4 tools, or that type of thing, that works out very well. We did a job for Mastercraft Boats. They had an old Como machine. It had an eight station tool changer that was manually, you have to manually set the heights on it. We put a 24 tool changer on it, and we put an automatic tool height setter on it, and it just made their life so much easier. Their operator was just tickled, and I would invite you to go to our website. Our customers are some of our best candidates for supporting us from a sales standpoint, because they love what we do, and they're actually eager to talk about it. I don't know if Roy made it on the call today.
Yes, he's here. He's muted, but he's here.
I don't know. Maybe
Sorry.
Roy would like to. Maybe you would like to talk to maybe some of the reasoning why you chose MachMotion.
Sure. One of the biggest reasons was we were very frustrated with our machine. It was still a very good machine, like the bones that John was talking about, but we had problems with the brains, just minor stuff, and it ended up costing us a lot of time and frustration, not just internally with our people but also externally with customers when we couldn't get product out to our customers. So we had looked at buying a new machine, and had looked at a couple different options, and we're kind of throwing that around when we heard about MachMotion. And one of our employees had told me about it, and I kind of forgot about it until one day they stopped in and cold called, and we were quick to take a tour of the shop and explained how everything works, and sounded really good. So we set up an appointment and got a quote, and it was a no-brainer for us to decide. I mean, to me, the service and the product you get is probably more than you'll get with most new machines. So I forget, I'm not sure how long it took. It didn't take long. They work quick. Very impressive. But they came in, and the easiest way for me to explain this to stair builders is they did a very intense field measure on a custom stairway on our machines. They just went through and picked everything apart and, made sure that all the bones were in good condition and was it really worth doing this? And comes out that, they were very happy with both of our machines and said it's very worthwhile doing. So uh, we proceeded with the order. It was shipped to us. It came in probably, I would say, a week before, maybe a little longer. Had plenty of time to be here before their installers were scheduled to be here. Uh, their installers showed up on a Monday morning, and by I think Wednesday afternoon, they were ready to run some test parts. And by Friday night, we were actually Friday afternoon, we ran some production parts that had to get out that week yet. And then after we ran those parts, they did some fine tune testing and just fine tuning the machine yet. Very easy to learn to use. I don't know if you remember that picture. I think most of you probably met my dad, the older gentleman in that picture, and he is 76 years old. So if he can learn how to use this, anybody can. And we had to arm wrestle a little bit because he was still in old school mode, but I don't think he'd go back for a minute. I mean, it's just everything's at your fingertips. It's right there. It's been very easy and just we love it. I would highly recommend it to anybody. We did have one little glitch, but we contacted MachMotion and got it taken care of, and I mean it's been seamless for us. It's awesome. The other thing I will mention is we did work with Sitza. I don't know if he's on here.
He is.
They did create G code for StairCon. Unfortunately, we did not have time to run it, and most of that is our fault because we aren't currently using StairCon the way we should. But I think it's all in place, and I don't know if Sitza wants to talk in on this or whatever, but his thoughts on it.
He might not. Sitza, is your microphone hooked up? It doesn't look
Uh,
like.
do
Oh,
you
there you
hear
are.
me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, I just was just popped in because I had another meeting. Yeah, well, Heartland started with StairCon, but you obviously have to take time to to um, to learn it. I think they're well on their way. Lucas is a very smart guy, so but yeah, they have to start using it more and more. And we do have uh, it's prepared. So we got from MachMotion all the information about the new controller, and we put it in StairCon Cam. And yeah, in StairCon Cam we generate the NC codes for what MachMotion said how it should look. And that's where we're at now that as soon as we get more feedback, if something needs to be tweaked, then obviously we can change that in the post processor. And so yeah, that was very like we did had I had together with a colleague of mine who is doing the CAM implementation, a meeting with both Heartland and both with MachMotion. And then I found out that my beard is not long enough. When I look at Abraham, his beard, I was quite impressed in that. So yeah, they're friendly people and very knowledgeable, and yeah. So, but like Roy said, they had limited time for doing everything, and then they said, okay, let's first make sure that the machine is up and running, and then we do some tests with StairCon. So we have everything, yeah, already prepared, and they just have to start testing it. And I guess yeah, changes when changes need to be made, or when there's questions, for sure we will get the help and feedback from MachMotion if something minor needs to be changed in the post. But it seemed to be like the feedback that we had now, that it looked all good. So yeah, we're eager to get more feedback and maybe make some minor changes. Did I say that correct, Roy?
Yes,
Okay.
perfect. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that.
I was very encouraged just to see the two companies, how they work together, and they asked for some feedback from us, what we want it to look like and how we want it to run, and gave them that information. And the two companies, Staircon and MachMotion, basically produced all that and seemed to work together great.
That's good. I appreciate the kind words, and it's part of our mission again to bring you and our other joint suppliers, software producers, that we're all part of a team, we're all part of a family, that we want to keep you running. We give unlimited online support for the life of the control for the next 20 years. And that support allows us to make the changes that the customers need as they increase their desires and wants. We can roll along with that. We're very flexible in that regard. Again, we don't have millions of customers. We have fewer customers, but they get the absolute best customer service in the industry. I think that's extremely important. And that we do this on site. You don't have to send your machine in. That's probably one thing I should mention, is that we do all this work on site, and we try to keep it to a minimum, under a week, typically a week at max, to do a complete turnaround on a machine and get it back running. And we give you a production guarantee when we do a job. We don't leave until you're running production. That's an absolute guarantee. That kind of support really is unheard of in the industry. Again, customer service is our number one criteria, supporting our customers, making them basically our best advocates for what we do for them. Is there any questions that anybody would have?
You guys are welcome to ask questions, or you can also put them in the chat if you have any, whether it's for John, Sitza, or for Roy.
Hey, this is Dennis over Stair South. I'm going to chime in with Roy and Sitza. We have actually contracted with MachMotion. We were having the same issues as Roy was having, downtime over little parts that couldn't be found. And we cannot, that's just not realistic to run a business, as y'all know. So we were very happy to find them. We're very happy with the pricing and the professionalism. And so far, so good. I believe they're doing my install in September. So
I appreciate that, Dennis. Yeah, I think to your point, eBay can't be your go-to part source for any long period of time. I've done it in my history as well, but replacing old parts with old parts is not a good long-term solution. You have to keep current. We also, one of the things I should mention is that we give a non-obsolescence guarantee, that we will always have a solution that brings you up to the current state if needed, so that you're never in a position where you have to gut your whole machine out to go forward. That's a little bit different than the take with some of the other control systems that are available on the market today. Again, we're not in the business of selling machines. We're in the business of retrofitting controls and giving new life to old bones. That's what we do, and we do it every day.
What John was, go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, go ahead.
What I was going to say, when John said it is a family-run business, that is exactly what we experienced, from the sales team to the guys that came out and measured everything to the install. Actually became pretty good friends with the guys installing it. So we had good conversations, and it was a good time.
when you do a retrofit, is your fourth, can you do fourth axis as a fourth axis and not as a switch? Some of these machines are switches, or I'm not 100% sure. I'm looking at a small machine right now and this is the reason why I'm here to see if the retrofit, because it is a Windows, it's a 7, whatever that thing is. And it's not got to go up to 11 because I'm using Fusion and I'll need a post for it, but it does have an indexer, and the indexer works very well going between the top and the side of the bit, but you lose a function. You got to have two posts to run the indexer, and I'm still trying to figure that out. And I'm also wanting to put a 15-watt laser, maybe a 30, to cut felts and to cut animal skin. Is that something you could do like on a desktop? Well, it says desktop. It's a 4x4 machine, but it's not a regular heavy CNC.
We certainly can do it. Whether or not it's cost effective or not, that would have to be looked at. One of the things I'll just touch on is that we do a walk around health inspection of a machine, and that would include the viability of the cost versus the reward. If the machine is not functionally capable or is not worthy of an upgrade, we will not let you put that investment into it. It doesn't do you any good, and it doesn't do us any good as well. And then there are some machines that it's just not financially practical to do. We can do all the things you're talking about. In fact, our system can go up to 24 axes of motion control. I think the largest to date is 18 axes for country wood products. But a very powerful system. We can do a true fourth axis. We can do true 5 axes heads on the different machines as well. I don't know if that answered your question or not. We certainly can take a look at it for you.
Yeah, that's kind of sort of where I am. Is I might give you a call to take a look at this thing before I buy it because it's not operating right now.
Okay, is this something you're looking at buying?
Yeah, it's a 4x4 machine. They're
Okay.
calling it a desktop, but it does have its own. It looks like I haven't seen it yet, but it looks like it's sitting on the floor, just like a regular CNC would be. And it has a nice vacuum table to go with it, so that's why I'm looking at it.
Okay. One of the things we offer third-party machine inspections so that we can go out and look at a piece of equipment for a customer and again find out whether it's actually mechanically capable or financially viable to do a retrofit on it. As I said before, there's a lot of good iron on the market, a lot of good machinery out there, but the controls are shot. Well, that's where we can certainly take care of that side of it. And the mechanics, there really isn't anything mechanical that you can't repair. But some of the machines are selling for almost scrap value, and they're very well built machines. I just put that out there.
Thanks, John.
Hey, Dennis, did you get I'm not sure what they call it, the option where it touches the tool touch off, measure the length?
Absolutely. They sold me on it right off the bat. It was like, it's a no-brainer. You got to get it. Right,
Yeah,
John?
I would
Yeah.
definitely recommend that.
Yeah, there are a couple options I always really promote. One is the height setter. The other one is the absolute encoders on all of the axes if it's a servo machine. What that does is if you have a power outage, emergency stop, or anything, you can easily get back in and continue on your part without losing the part. The other thing is that once it's set up, we don't use the proc switches on your machine to set your home limits. You kind of, typically anything mechanical on a machine is your weak link. Proc switches, mechanical switches. If there's going to be a problem in your machine, it's going to be with those types of things. It's usually, it'd be very rare that it would be within the control system. So those are the two options that I like. And as I said, for instance, with the boat manufacturer, they just absolutely love it because he had to reset 8 tools by hand every time he changed tools out. It was very time consuming. So Mastercraft, and we went from 8 to a 24. If you can imagine trying to do tool height adjustments on 24 tools, that would be an extensive amount of time. And that goes to the productivity improvements. They're little things that add up to make the whole machine more productive. I know in the stair industry, it's not so much volume. It's more of making the setup faster and quicker, not so much in running a certain amount of production. But in some of our other industries, it's an overall productivity that is an important part of the equation.
I had a question for you. What is the basic difference in your controller compared to buying an old machine that has recently had the original controller upgraded? How would your product be different than that?
Well, I kind of look at this as going to a football game. You guys will hear me say this again and again. We are factory direct. Typically, if you're buying a used piece of machinery and it's had the controls updated, it's either been updated by the OEM or by an integrator, but not by the actual control manufacturer. So if you are working through them, you're up in the high decks, you're out in the middle section, looking down at the football field. With our product, you are actually on the field with the players because we are factory direct. The people that you're going to talk to are the ones that actually wrote the software, build the hardware. That's the level of contact you're going to have, which also gives you the ability to make the changes you need specifically for your product. Most OEMs and integrators, they're going to have a very limited scope of what is in the industry. They're not going to know much about the wood industry. They're not going to know about stairs, but we're going to be intimately involved in what you want on your machine to make it sure it's what you need for your business. Again, it's the difference between one guy out there writing a piece of software, and unfortunately, if something happens to him, you're going to be in a world of hurt. Versus we have a whole group of engineers that are writing the software and know it for all different types of machines. So you have a group of people to rely on instead of an individual. And that even goes with the OEMs. They always put their control configurations on top of the manufacturer of the controller. So it's unique to what they're doing. The controller people aren't going to know anything about what the OEM's done to that control. So it really ties you to what they're doing. Again, with us, we build the whole thing. So it's pretty much wide open for you with a wide open support domestically here in the US, which I think is a super important part of the equation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As far as power, our control system, as I said, is more powerful and adaptable than pretty much every system that I've seen out there to date. I'm an ex-FANUC guy, so I kind of know the controls side of it. It's a excellent control, has excellent longevity as far as being out there and being supported for a long period of time. The non-obsolescence thing is a huge thing because a lot of the other controls they obsolete themselves within a couple of years. It's almost like a Windows thing where every couple of years they're going to come out with something new, and then that puts you in an awkward position. And we fight against that with the way that we support our equipment.
If I tie into to that, for us, for instance, as a software company, we are relying on the expertise from or the customer or from the machine supplier of giving us the feedback how the code should look. So partly that is like what Roy said is that when we were preparing the post processor, we had direct contact MachMotion, which makes it for us easier. Not that we don't want to talk with the customer, but it's just like we get direct feedback for the things that we want or need to change. So, and that is important. And I don't say that that doesn't happen with the machine dealers themselves, but sometimes even new machines get installed and then they send a rookie and then they have the week after to send another guy that is more experienced. So it's not about good machine or bad machine. It's more about, do you get the right person on the job and that knows the controller, right? So our experience so far is like with the preparing, because now we did the online implementation, so we just get we didn't travel to Roy or to Heartland yet, because we decided in the group meeting that we had together with MachMotion and with Heartland to say, okay, let's start with the 3-axis. For that, we can just get all the information. We can change the post processor. We give you the files, you test it. And then once we do the 5-axis, we can also do, we actually already have all the information for that. We already made some changes in that. Most of the time when it's a 5-axis installation, we still would like to go on site because we want to explain practical how would you like to go with that wood and machine that reads handrail or stuff like that. So there are some practicalities of how to clamp it on the machine or stuff like that. But having a partner that knows their controller in and out and the right persons that can just point out, no, you have to change this and change that, then we don't have to chase our own tail. We just get the answer to our question and we can just fix it, right? So it's all about having the right persons to talk with, and that makes it eventually also what Roy said, easier for the customer. That the two parties that are doing the job can talk with each other instead of that the customer feels that he's in the middle and trying to let people to talk with each other and stuff like that, which we sometimes have with I'm not going to name any machine brands, but sometimes it is like, okay, no, the customer has to reach out to us, so and then they have to have a support ticket because that's how some of these companies work. So that might be sometimes frustrating, I think, when you have this kind of workaround. And yeah, I think that the communication that we had feels also very straightforward. That we could just, when we had questions, we could directly get the answers. So, and for us, that's a big part for doing our job.
I got a question. So John, if we currently have a 4x8 working envelope 3-axis, we're running a Win CNC aftermarket controller on it. It's basically at this point, it's a resto mod. It's a machine from the late 90s and pretty much everything but 2 servos has been upgraded on it. So we kind of know that machine inside and out. And we've been interested in getting live 4th axis or possibly 5-axis machining. And I'd be curious, do you guys also help us source like a donor machine to apply your controls to, in case we didn't want to retrofit our existing machine, but we wanted to add another to it? Could you help with that part as well?
We can. We do. We're not a broker or anything, but we are in so many different shops. We kind of have a list of what's available out there. So if you gave us your wish list of what you want, and I'm going to tell you right now, 5-axis machines are fairly scarce, but they're out there. But yeah, we can certainly go shopping for you. Or we can actually add or modify the things onto the existing machine that you've got if the frame is good. We could get a 5-axis head, very expensive, but we could put one on there. And then we could also put the 4th axis on there as well. That's what's nice about our control system, is that it has that level of flexibility that you can add on and you can add on and you can change as your needs change as well. We've had several customers come back and we've added spindles and drill banks and tool holders, all kinds of different things. If you can come up with something that is totally unique and wonderful, it would put you ahead of the competition, we can certainly work with you on that as well. Custom software is part of our business. We do that all the time. As I said, we did a very large job for a company up in Napanee and that was 18 axes, and that was basically to dado and cut for bathroom cabinets, and that was a very unique job. The machine was not supported anymore. Controls were not supported, and now they've got a machine that runs faster, and has great support, and they're just happy as can be.
Okay. Yeah, I'll send you an email after this because
Sure.
we're interested in getting live fourth axis, possibly with an additional machine so we can have two different cycles running on two different processes.
Sure, that'd be great. Yeah, to that point, there are machines out there that we have twin tables on. If we're doing a twin table machine, we can do a different part on the right and the left table, so that doesn't have to be the same part. So we can run different parts right to left. Just one of the features that we have.
Cool.
And the other thing I probably should mention is that we offer our product in three different versions. One is a full turnkey. We come on site, we do everything. Then we have a hybrid where we come on site, do all the engineering and everything. We build up the panels and everything, and then we send it to you. You take off the stuff off your machine, you bolt everything on, get it ready to go, and then an engineer will come out and help commission the machine. That's one kit. And then the other is where you're going to do the whole kit yourself, and then we do the online commissioning. I don't recommend doing it yourself for a first time out. But we do have customers that have done twin table comos with twin spindles, and they did it themselves. I have a customer that's very close to us right here, and he did that. Of course, me being kind of close to him and with some pretty good factory support, they've been very successful in that. So those are the three different types of packages that we put together.
Are there any other questions?
Yeah, just one more. What's your operating systems? Using Windows, or what are you using, and which ones?
We currently are Windows 10 Industrial, which is current up until 2032. And as I said, we will have if required, we will have the next stage up from that when that becomes available. So you'll never be in an unsupported Windows. And we, like I said, we support the equipment for the life of the control. So you have full Windows capability. So you can add some other software to the side of it. We do have a lot of different options. We have, if you have an MRP program, we have a separate screen. If you wanted to have your MRP show up there, we have barcode readers. We have third-party machine monitoring systems available. Just a wide variety of different things to meet your needs. And again, if you can come up with something that's totally unique and you need it, we can work with you to make that happen as well.
Thanks.
Any other questions? All right. John, Roy, Sitsa, Dennis, thank you for your guys' conversation and for sharing information about this process with our members. But thank you guys for your time and for sharing your testimonies with us, and have a great week.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.